Now to our focus on caste politics in Maharashtra first and then in Telangana, activist Manoj Patil's fast at Mumbai's Azad Maidan demanding that all Marathas be issued certificates to be brought under the OBC category has disrupted life in central and southern Mumbai. In fact, the Mumbai High Court ordered authorities to clear protesters off the roads. The protests have brought several parts of the city to the standstill.
That's right, Vasudha. Videos of protesters being unruly, entering shops and even harassing journalists have gone viral. While the disruption to life in Mumbai and traffic is one focus, the demand for including all Marathas under the OBC category and issue them with Kunbi certificates puts the government in a delicate spot. It's a historic issue. A section of the Marathas fall under the backward castes and the other sections do not. The state's bill to grant 10% reservation for Marathas, Vasudha, which would take the total reservation in the state to 72%, has also been challenged in the High Court.
That's right, Vida. We'll get into the caste complexities in just a bit, but let's first listen to these reactions.
सांगितलेलं आहे की जी काही परवानगी होती ती परवानगी काही अटी शर्तींचा होती त्याचं उल्लंघन झालेलं आहे आणि विशेषतः रस्त्यावर जे काही गोष्टी चाललेल्या आहेत त्या संदर्भात कोर्टाने प्रचंड नाराजी व्यक्त केलेली आहे आणि काही निर्देश हे दिलेले आहेत. जे काही कोर्टाचे निर्देश आहेत ते पालन करणं हे प्रशासनाला क्रमप्राप्त आहे. प्रशासन कोर्टाच्या निर्देशाचं उचित पालन करेल.
Joining us now is Abhishek Awasthi from Mumbai. We'll get to the politics in just a bit. Abhishek, give us a sense of the crowds and disruption in Mumbai. Ganesh Utsav is going on, so clearly a festive time for the city and probably the right time for the protesters to also send out a message.
Definitely, I am present at the iconic CST railway station, and I'll tell my cameraman to show you all around. All around, these are the unusual visuals that I'm bringing to you right now. This is the platform. We can see the train moving currently, and the protesters are sitting down here. Some are sleeping over here, and this is how the visuals are. In fact, we have also the local Mumbaikars who are definitely struggling to come to the platform and boarding their trains. These are the latest visuals that we can bring you from CST railway station, one of the iconic historic railway station, which I can say that since morning this has been entirely captured by the protesters. I'll tell my cameraman to move ahead further because there is a designated spot for them also being stationed here, where these protesters are said to be stationed here, but definitely they are not listening. They are coming on the platform, creating huge crowd out there, and definitely disruption is going on at that time. You can see, these are the food material that they have brought from their districts, and currently they are having food. And this is the barricaded area. This is where the police have said that they should be stationed here and can do a peaceful protest. But the other visual that I showed you of the platform, where they are repeatedly making announcement that please don't trouble Mumbaikars, the daily travelers who are coming out from their offices and moving towards their residence, boarding the train. In fact, several protesters have boarded the train also. These are the visuals. These are the latest visuals, and here are the huge crowd still at the CST railway station, stationed here. These are the protesters, and right opposite to CST is Azad Maidan, where Mr. Manoj Patil, the Maratha Quota activist, is holding his protest, the hunger strike. This is the 4th day, and these are the visuals that we can bring you from CST. And definitely the protesters want reservation, and that too, what you pointed out is definitely there's a bone of contention, because currently also a similar meeting was held by OBC leaders who are objecting to giving such kind of a direct reservation. So this is a big bone of contention for the Maharashtra government, and at the same time to maintain law and order is one of the priority that needs to be taken into account. And after the bashing by the Bombay High Court that there is a clear-cut violation of the order that was given by the High Court permitting Mr. Manoj Patil to carry on with his protest, allowing him to enter Mumbai, to sit in Azad Maidan. And definitely what I have shown you right now, there are more than thousands and thousands of people over here, and that's the reason.
Those pictures Those pictures tell the story there as far as the station in Mumbai is concerned. If you ever wondered whether it can get any more crowded than it normally is, Vasudha, the pictures are an example, are a proof of that. OBC politics, not just around the Marathas, Vasudha. In Telangana, Chief Minister Revanth Reddy led an all-party delegation to the state's governor to seek the immediate approval of bills that would remove the 50% ceiling on reservation and pave the way for 42% reservation for backward classes in local bodies.
That's right, Veera. The meeting follows a landmark session in the Telangana Assembly yesterday, which saw the unanimous passage of two critical amendments bills aimed at lifting the 50% reservation cap for backward classes in the upcoming local body elections. Now, the opposition BRS also demanded that the state pushes the centre to pass a constitutional amendment to include these bills in the 9th schedule, just like Tamil Nadu did to take reservation past the 50% cap that has been imposed by the Supreme Court.
हमने कानून में जो 42% लागू करने के लिए बिल बनाए, तो केसीआर साहब की सरकार के टाइम पे 2018 में 50% का बैरियर का एक बिल था, उसको हमने ऑर्डिनेंस बनाया था, ऑर्डिनेंस से रुक गए, फिर कल हाउस लगा के उसको हटा के फिर बिल बनाए और ऑल पार्टी के सहमति से हम गवर्नर साहब को यही बताना चाहते हैं और गवर्नर साहब को यही विज्ञप्ति किया है कि मूड ऑफ द हाउस ऑल पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर यूनानिमसली सपोर्टिंग एंड पास्ड बिल, सो प्लीज यू ऑल्सो सपोर्ट इट। एंड हम किसी का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली एससी रिजर्वेशन को कोई टच नहीं करते हैं।
Congress government is blaming us that KCR sir has got the limitation of 50% in the state, but it's not true. It was the bill which earlier when KCR sir was the CM, we tried to get reservation for BCs, but we got hurdles from the then opposition party in Congress. We don't want to get in such a mess. We are clearly in support of the bill, and we see sincerely all the parties and all the BCs are in favor of this bill. We request CM of Telangana State, Revanth Reddy Garu, to fight in Delhi.
Well, Vasudha, with the OBC push overall, the pressure on that 50% cap enforced by the apex court has been enormous for many years now, with many states having passed legislations that breach that. Joining us this evening, Rohit Chandavarkar from Mumbai, noted cephalogist Professor Sandeep Shastri, and political analyst V. Pulla Rao. Rohit, explain to us first why this fast at Azad Maidan puts the Maharashtra government in a tight spot on reservation, given that 10% quota for Marathas is already before the High Court as it takes the reservation in that state to 72%.
Yes, Veera, the issue of Maratha reservation has been burning in Maharashtra for more than a decade or more than that perhaps, but it made a huge impact politically in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Remember that the Mahayuti in Maharashtra, the BJP-led Mahayuti, could not get, reach their target in the Lok Sabha polls. In fact, in the Marathwada region, where there is large-scale Maratha population, we saw that the Mahayuti could get only 1 out of 9 Lok Sabha seats. Now, this has made a big impact on the BJP, and the visuals you see right now on your screen in Mumbai are unprecedented, because this time Manoj Jarange Patil decided to come right up to South Mumbai. This is the business capital of India, as everybody knows, plush locality of South Mumbai. And remember, this didn't matter much first 2 days because it was weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But today is the first working day of this week, and it has paralyzed South Mumbai completely, the matter reaching the courts. Coming to your question about the 10% reservation, there was a commission appointed by the government called Bhagwant Rao Gaikwad Commission, which said that it is difficult to establish that the Maratha community is socially backward, because technically speaking, this community has been landholders, they have been farmers of large-scale agriculture, etc. And over the years, there has been fragmentation of land and agrarian failure, which has kind of pushed them towards this kind of economic distress. I'd like to stress that this is not that much of a caste agitation, right, but it is an economic distress agitation. Right. Just look at all these youngsters who are agitating. All of them are saying that they have not got jobs.
Right. So taking off from what Rohit is saying, I think, right,
they are not able to get jobs with government.
And
that's what the status right now is. Last point is, it remains the most important point right now is what action Maharashtra government takes, because we just saw Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis taking a hint from the High Court today and saying that the High Court is saying that disruption cannot be allowed and we will abide by High Court orders and take some action. That is the biggest news point that I think we'll have to watch for tomorrow.
Right, Rohit. Taking off from what you exactly said, Professor Shastri, Rohit has been talking about this locally dominant feudal castes also. There's always this issue that, many of these benefits could be going to them. How do political parties or governments navigate something like this? Because OBC is generally not seen as a caste categorization. It's seen as a administrative categorization. What are the challenges here? How do you see the political fallout of this, even in states like Karnataka, which did a caste survey but did not really release the results?
Vasudha, 3 quick points on this. First, as Rohit said, we need to keep into account, be it Andhra Pradesh, be it Telangana, be it Karnataka, be it Maharashtra. Dominant caste politics is very, very clearly visible in these developments. You see the role that the dominant caste plays in asserting their presence in the state. So in a sense, there is a social arithmetic that is emerging, a social arithmetic which is trying to influence in the long run the electoral politics, the electoral arithmetic in that particular state. My second point that I'd like to make is those who are leading these movements are seeing the opportune moment to be able to challenge and to, in some ways, make the government of the day feel that it is on the back foot and try to take maximum political advantage of the situation. And third and last, I think the government's approach across these states has been, let's leave it to the court to decide on the issue, because then that allows them to take the political flack away from them. They can always then argue that we are in favor of reservation, but the court has come in the way of such a reservation being implemented. So you see all these 3 factors playing out: dominant caste politics, social arithmetic, electoral politics, and finally putting the ball in the court of the judiciary, which in a sense is politically insulated and does not need the political parties.
Sandeep Shastri, I think the next question that I have is, how long are the courts going to resist? The 50% cap is going to stay. That's the real big question at the moment, wouldn't it be? Pulla Rao, with state after state trying to pass legislations that take the cap beyond 50%, it's ultimately the judiciary which is holding back the reservation amounts under the 50% category. Do you believe that there is going to be a serious challenge to that in the coming days?
Veera and Vasudha, this is a legacy issue. Caste is a legacy issue. Either sometimes legacies haunt, sometimes legacies bless. Since 150 years, since the time of the British, this has been used in India, and it is a very big of a haunting issue. It won't go away soon. But now coming to Schedule 9, the Supreme Court has already said it is no sacred cow. Just because you put it in Schedule 9, it doesn't mean we can't go there. We can go anywhere. And then get over your mindset that once you put it there, it cannot go to the judiciary. Now you come to the next point. The Supreme Court in every country consists of wise men. They take decisions slowly. They don't want ruptures. They don't want their decisions to be challenged in the public. Or as a famous judge in Supreme Court US said, the judges also read newspapers. Now coming to this point, this will go on. But one point my 2 friends did not mention. This doesn't fetch electoral dividends. At the time of the assembly election, the same gentleman, Mr. Patil, was isolated. Nobody went to him. And it became a forgotten issue. All these caste agitations work when there are no elections. They go on, huge crowds come. Once elections are announced, everybody disperses for their personal interest.
Okay.
Yes, 40 years ago.
But that's a very valid point, Pulla Rao. Very quickly, Rohit, because, a lot of action is happening in Maharashtra. When you have a Manoj Jarange Patil, you also have a Chhagan Bhujbal. How is the BJP going to navigate, both these leaders or both their demands, because both of them represent sections which are immensely powerful?
Yes, great question. Now, see, one political fallout of what is happening in Maharashtra right now, which the BJP very wisely understands, is that this Maratha agitation and the kind of coverage that it is getting in media and national media has resulted in huge galvanization in the OBC vote. and the OBC community. This galvanization, I'm sure, 100% sure about that in the upcoming Jilla Parishad and Mumbai municipal polls or other polls, the BJP is going to hugely benefit out of this because the BJP has been garnering support among the OBC communities for decades now. Look at all these leaders like Gopinath Munde and many others. They come from the OBC community, and the BJP realized that the Maratha community historically has been with the Congress party and Sharad Pawar's Nationalist Congress party. So what they did in the last 2 or 3 decades, Vasudha, is that they went with the OBCs and they built a huge OBC vote bank and leadership in Maharashtra. Now with the Maratha agitation going to a peak, this is going to definitely galvanize the OBCs, and we see Chhagan Bhujbal and others getting active now. And this, I think the BJP is going to benefit out of this. So in the upcoming poll seasons, from that point of view, this Maratha agitation is very important and needs to be watched, where it goes.
Right. Interesting point that you make there, Rohit Chandavarkar. Thanks to all 3 of you for joining us. We'll keep a close watch on the OBC politics across the country, Vasudha, but it's time for a very quick break now.